door.
Welcome to the Night Peddlers.
Welcome to the Night Petties.
The Night Petties, the Night Pedicures.
Get your panties ready for the Night Petties.
Get them.
Get your...
Welcome to the Night Peddlers.
Yes.
If you are listening to this, it is because, well, actually our first episode is going to be live to the public, and then after that, they are going to be patron episodes if people like the night like that content.
Yeah, a lot of this content is really just me and Lindsay kind of shooting the shit. We don't have to bleep any of this.
Yeah, we don't, because it's just a podcast,
Just
which makes
for
it
you.
so much
You
easier
signed
to
up for
edit.
this.
You did.
You and your beautiful face asked for this. I don't care if you're actually ugly. Let me pretend real quick.
No,
You
ain't nobody
and
ugly. Nobody, everybody's pretty.
Well, look, I have a mirror. Let's be honest here.
Oh.
All right, let's not lie to each other.
Dante, you be pretty.
I have an eraser head right now, so. So they messed me up with the haircut. It's not great. Yeah, no.
I mean, it's not terrible, though.
It's not. It'll grow out.
It'll grow out.
I think it's like a rule for haircuts that you never get a haircut on the day of the thing.
Yes.
Because it always looks very overdone.
I like at least a week or like 5
Something.
days. Give it a couple days to chill out again.
Yeah, I always get a haircut like a week or a couple days. It's not a haircut podcast, but you know.
Yeah.
But we're just here.
Just kidding. This is actually a haircut podcast.
JK, this is Cut and Run, the podcast where you cut and you get out of here.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm. Oh yeah, sorry. No, you're gonna say something.
We're here to talk about what's going on in our lives: the good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty. Some experiments that are going on in the clay world with us. Some things that we kind of have an eye on in the clay world. You know, still clay centric.
Yeah, still clay centric, but a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more relaxed formatting. A little bit like combo of like you're saying, like what's going on with us, what's going on, and so just kind of touching base and sharing stuff that we maybe wouldn't normally share on the Mud Peddlers.
Yeah, you know how like you listen to Mud Peddlers and then there's like 80% of it or 70% of it's like core information, there's like 30% of riffing. It's gonna be a lot of riffing.
That's a generous. I would say we're like
I was trying to be nice.
60-40. If I'm honest, we're probably like 60%. I don't know. You tell us. Are we? What's our percentage?
You can actually leave comments.
Yes.
In the Patreon. Underneath this post. Actually.
Yes, because I'm gonna learn how to do that.
Which is it's you post it and then it's like a Facebook post essentially.
Yeah.
But like Patreon be messing up sometimes.
Tell me.
Sometimes Patreon, I put picture don't go up, or it deletes picture, and so I have to post the picture in the actual word section.
Oh,
Instead of making it the post and then adding words to it,
right.
It's part of the words.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't post on Patreon for like a week and I feel bad, but it's because Patreon like will glitch sometimes. It's only for my phone though. Computer works great.
Okay.
From my phone, doesn't like it sometimes.
Interesting.
Yeah. What's been going on with you recently, other than gearing up for your table?
I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, I think what was nice is that, so this last weekend I intended to work through the weekend. Normally I don't, like, for the last few years, I'd say I've been pretty good about not working through weekends. Like, I have like a Monday through Friday work schedule.
Yeah.
But during busy times, I will sometimes give myself more leeway with that. But I actually decided to take the full weekend off, and not gonna lie, I'm really glad I did, because I feel so much more relaxed. Like, my anxiety was getting bad.
Bad?
Yeah, like even with the like antidepressant and anti-anxiety medication that I'm taking, I was like I've been beginning to have like more trouble sleeping, and sleeping in more, which compounds the stress, because then I don't get to work as long because the days are shorter because I sleep in so much,
and more aggravated.
Yeah.
Like sleep really does help a lot of things.
And having a consistent sleep schedule, like,
if it wasn't part of the natural human cycle to sleep, like, it would be considered a drug, because it's that effective to your body.
Yeah, it's I feel like after having a weekend of like getting good rest, not stressing, like I feel so much more reset. And I looked at my calendar, and at first I was like looking at the calendar like last week and going like, oh my god, I don't have enough time. My table isn't going to be full enough. I'm going to do it was all these things. And then on Monday, yesterday, I was like, oh, this isn't so bad.
I'm kind of on track.
Like, I mean, it's still going to be a push.
Yeah.
But it's not like on the brink of
Yeah, it's not like all hope is lost.
Yeah.
all who enter here.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Abandon all hope.
Yeah.
Ye who enter.
Ye who enter. Yeah. That's kind of been all consuming in a lot of ways. Just like,
well, your kiln, I don't know if it's broken, it still works on bisque, right?
yeah, it still works on bisque. It doesn't seem to be able to get to a glaze firing. I only had the error code pop up once, so I haven't tried again to see if it's going to be able to
I see.
work, or to see if it would work again. But essentially, it was an error. The error code was error code 1, which basically was like there's not enough energy getting pulled in to allow for the kiln to rise at the temperature rate it's supposed to.
Okay.
So I called Alpha, and they were basically like, this could be, or no, I looked up the error code on Scut's website, and then they're like, okay, this could either be the relay or it could be the kiln elements themselves. So there's a little test you can run on your kiln to see essentially how many like amps it's pulling in.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how it works, but it essentially figures out whether the problem is the relay or it's the kiln elements. And by doing this test, I found out that it's the kiln elements. But when I called Alpha, they were like, well, you could just replace the elements, but since your kiln, you haven't replaced any parts yet, they essentially recommended replacing 3 different parts. So the kiln elements, the relay, and then there was one other thing that they recommended replacing.
Oh, I see.
To essentially make sure that everything was working together cohesively.
That makes sense, because they'll probably, it's like changing your tires. You change one tire, the other 2 tires are coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
one tire is new, the other 2 will die soon.
Yeah.
Other 2, there's only 3 wheels on a car.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna end up being, I think they quoted me at around like $650 to get it repaired, which is
horrible.
it's not too bad. I mean, like, considering what it would cost to fire, buy a whole new kiln, or like just the time. Oh my God, I forgot how much extra time not having your own kiln means you have to take, because it's like transport time. Like, even being lucky enough to bring it over to your place, like, it takes time to pack everything up.
Yeah.
There's like the little things where, in transport, if a tiny chip of glaze comes off during transport, and it's not like I can just really quickly dab a little bit of extra glaze on it and then refire it. It's like, no, I got to bring it to the next load that I bring to you. It's just, oh my God, it reminds me of the great before times before I had a kiln, and I'm like,
before.
The before times, yeah.
Well, it's also like you have a smaller kiln than me, so you theoretically fire twice as much as I do.
Yeah.
Because you have half the size of a kiln.
Right.
And you produce a bit more than I do. As for me, like, I crush a lot of experiments. I'm always like, I need to make 5 mugs to put in the store next month. But 2 of these mugs could be experiments. For glazes that I'm trying to develop and put on glazy.
And even then, like, you have a whole ass kiln to fill up. Like, your kiln is big. Like, why is it that you decided to get, like, the bigger one? Because, like, my thought was when I got my smaller kiln, my thought was like, oh, it can be small, so if I want to do experiments, I don't have to make as much to fill up that kiln, and also if something goes wrong, I'm not ruining as much stuff.
Mine was, and those are both great points, because that do be happening, though. But mine was like, I want to make big art sometime.
Oh, yeah.
Mine was like, I want to make a 2-foot tall vase, and it's not happening in the 1088 or it's not happening over there.
818,
it's not gonna happen. So
no, that's true.
I want to make something the size of my leg. I need something bigger than my leg. And it served me pretty well. Like, I make big teapots sometimes. I have good stuff, but like, it's it does hinder the ability to make loads very quickly.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to make 20 cups that are like the size of your steins, I can't really do that. And then a couple experiments. I have to make like 50.
Yeah.
And then maybe they'll fit. And then even then, I'm a little OCD about the placement, so I place one here, and I put the handles into each other, so I have like 1/10 of an inch more of space, so if I do that 10 times, I'll have 1 more inch of space.
That great Tetrising of the kilns.
Exactly. Other than that, it's been a road.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me what's been happening with you.
Did have a death in the family.
Yeah.
I won't get too much into that, but it was major. Still going through it.
Yeah. Abel's okay.
Abel's okay.
Just for the listeners.
Abel and Baby are both okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not speaking to you from the great beyond. I promise. I promise I won't do one of those things that you hear in horror. So my mom's always afraid. She's like, yeah, like, my mom and... Okay, look, side point. My mom is like one of those people who like thought she was a Wiccan when she was a teenager and loved tarot cards and astrology.
Totally.
The difference is that she like realized what was fake and what was what was real and what was trying to be sold off as fake spirituality. So like she forgot most of that stuff and she stuck to like the core. You know what I mean? She's like, oh no, I figured out most of society is just trying to sell me astrology shit for money.
Yeah.
And just making rules up. And she goes, I figured out like what's, you know, like what meditation and whatnot. But she raised me after the point in which she found out like all the stuff that she was like, it's just consumerism.
Right.
It's consumerism with extra steps.
Yeah.
So I was raised in this very like feeling energy and feeling vibes, you know what I mean, kind of household. And it's very strange because like I'm not a very good emotional person, but I'm a very good, like, I can kind of feel something going on here. You know, like, I feel a little bit of energy over here. Okay? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Something's up, though.
Yeah.
And so my mom's been trying to support me and able through this as well. And sometimes my mom will be like, you feel that? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, is that okay? And I'm like, yeah, sorry. Like, one of those conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, imagine, you ever have a best friend who you could talk to without really talking to them?
Yeah.
And you could have a whole conversation about something without, like...
Yeah, I think so.
Imagine that, but, like, it's in the air.
I haven't really had too many of those experiences myself, but my mom has.
Yeah.
And, so...
Your mom seems like it.
Yeah,
honestly. She seems like she's tuned in.
But she's not, like, woo-woo about it, if that makes sense. Like, she's had a couple experiences that, like... she just has a hard time explaining, I guess.
Yeah.
But, you know, so you recently had a death in the family, and my sister's birthday is today. She passed away 6.5 years ago.
Yeah.
She would have been 33 today. And so this is a little sidebar, but one of the ways that I've mentioned this to you off air, but I'll tell our listeners as well. So my sister, Erin Mackenzie Dillon, had an amazing ability to convince my mom and I to get bad food. Like, specifically my mom, because she'd, like, come up to me and be like, Lindsay, can you ask mom to, like, have us go get McDonald's? And I'd be like, why don't you ask her? And she's like, no, I always ask. Like, she'll say no to me. She won't say no to you.
That's true.
Like, okay. But she never even said no to Kenzie, because she was always like, hey, mom, can we go get this? Like, so she... could have been a lawyer. She knew how to assert herself and be like, can we get a mall?
Never got a ticket.
I know. Don't you dare associate.
The cop would have fell. The cop would have fell.
Yes.
You were speeding. Oh, damn, that's crazy. I know ticket.
Yeah. So we are, today, my mom and I are celebrating with a bunch of the bad foods that Kenzie used to convince us to go get. So we're getting... Cinnabons. We are gonna make chocolate covered strawberries. We're making Rice Krispie treats because Kenzie made the best Rice Krispie treats on the goddamn planet. She always put way too much butter and like way too many marshmallows, but it was perfect.
I don't know who's anti. Like when you make a sugary treat and there's always one person like, that's too much butter.
Heathens, kick them out of the house.
Bitch, we're making Rice Krispie treats.
What do you expect?
You think this was a salad bar?
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, and mac and cheese. Actually, I don't think we're doing mac and cheese. We did mac and cheese last year. But yeah, no, it's like you gotta if you're doing it, commit to it. Commit to the bad food.
It's like those people who get motorcycles and like, I need a loud one so cars can hear me because I could be more safe. You already got a motorcycle. You already went on the non-safe part of the safe.
Yeah.
You know what you were in for. Just dive on in.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Anyway, my mom is semi-spiritual.
Yes,
and I was just kind of, but she's always worried that I'm gonna like, she's like, you have good energy, and I'm really worried that like you're gonna find a way to contact me right when you fucking die, and just to fuck with me. And I was like, I would do that.
Oh my god.
And so one time,
but you can't die anytime soon. Knock on wood.
No, I have to make sure the child kills me.
Yeah. But not for a very long time. Like 80 years at least.
If she's 17 and I get in the house, and like I walk through the door and there's a knife to my throat, and she's like, "You're slow, old man." I'm like, "Fucking do it, I'm ready." I love you, my child.
Oh my god.
I love you too, Dad.
Dante. What the fuck?
As I die, I've never loved you more.
Oh my god.
And then she looks in my eyes and goes, I've never been more ashamed.
Oh my god.
And
that's some intense.
Die happy right there. Yeah, but like she's always like, I text her one time and I was like, "Hey mom, I gotta go." And she, you know, sorry, this is the last text I can send before.
Screw that.
Like shit like that, and she's like, "You would fucking do that to me." I was like, "I would."
Oh my god, no. Don't do that. If you are, okay. No, you can't go.
One final action before I die is trolling you.
Oh my god, that'd be so mean.
If I was a ghost, I would scare you.
Yeah, trolling. If you manage to contact the material world as a ghost, that's one thing. But don't be like right before don't. First of all, don't commit suicide. Don't hurt yourself. If you think you're going to reach out to someone, now I'm like, I gotta put the hotline.
Start using gamer lingo, like, Mom, I'm 1. I don't have any HP left. I have no reses left. I gotta go.
Oh my god! I just love that the phrase there is, I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Like you don't have a choice. Yeah. Oh man, that's morbid.
Extra morbid, but
yeah,
we're working through it.
Yeah.
You know, the motto of this week is like the only way out is through.
Yeah, amen to that.
So I'll get back home and I'm taking care of the baby and doing the house stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling you off podcast, I'm a very service type of person.
Yeah.
So like, I get my love language is like physical love, but also that's the way I receive it. The way I give it is very like service. So like if I like you, I'll do a bunch of shit for you for no reason.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll buy you food and like do chores for you. And so that's an overdrive right now. I woke up at like 7 a.m. like before the baby and her woke up, like did the dishes and cleaned the floor and mopped and did all the laundry and made her food. And I went outside and I watered the garden and like did all the shit before she woke up. And she woke up and she's like, I have to pump. And I was like, the bottles are clean. They're right there.
Yeah.
And she's like, what about the garbage? It smells. I'm like, no, it doesn't. I farted. The garbage is out.
Oh my god.
The garbage is fine. And
Yeah.
I just want to give her space to like grieve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Other than that,
I mean that's a huge thing.
It's a
And,
huge
like,
yeah.
I always found with like grief too, what's weird is that like the phrases like that, like, you know, the only way out is through,
Yeah.
or like one day at a time. Before my sister passed away, I kind of hated those phrases because I was like, they're super cheesy. But then they become these like cornerstones.
They're like love songs.
Yeah.
If you're not in love, they're shit. Or if you've ever been like heartbroken, you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But afterwards, you're like, I get it.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's such a good way of describing
Start
it.
listening to Mumford & Sons. It's not your fault but mine. It's your heart on the line. I really fucked it up this time. You start fucking crying in your car. Yeah, no, 100%. They sound cheesy when you're in them, but like when you're out, you're like, damn, that's some real talk. Mm-hmm. Right there.
Oh my
Start
god.
extrapolating lyrics from songs to
God,
fit your experience. I 100%.
True though.
Yeah.
God.
Other than that, it's a lot of glaze experiments is what I'm concentrating on.
Oh
so.
yeah, you were saying the other day that you made like 3 different glazes.
Yeah, so
tell me things.
well, what I'm proud of as far as glazing goes, is I have my base glaze. My base glaze is food safe, translucent, so you can see through it. So any color you put in it, as long as it's not like soup too much,
Yeah.
you can see through it. Shiny, the general stuff that I do.
Yeah, so almost like a Celadon type, but without being Celadon, so it's
Yeah.
like translucent.
Yes.
And then but without any pigments or anything in it, it's just clear.
It's more, yeah. It's basically a good high gloss clear.
Okay, solid.
Right,
solid.
and then off of that, you end up putting carbonates and oxides and stabilizers, stuff like that in it, and it makes certain textures and whatnot. And so I figured out 3.
Wait, 3 base glazes or 3
Three
like,
variations of the
Okay.
base glaze, which would be a glaze in itself.
Gotcha,
So like
gotcha.
you make your own base glaze,
Yeah.
then you add 1% red iron oxide to it, and that's a glaze with color in it. That's
Right,
essentially-
right.
I mean, and you keep adding and stacking until you can't anymore, but until you're at a point in which the color is
Where you
variance
want
or satisfactory.
Yeah.
And then you put it on glazy, at least I do, and then you end up kind of taking notes on them, things generally like that, and then. So I made 3 of those, and then off of those, you keep experimenting with that color line, is what I call it.
Oh, okay.
We're like, I'm gonna do manganese dioxide until I like it exactly where it is for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's titanium dioxide, which essentially.
Oh, that's really expensive right now, isn't it? Is it titanium?
Yeah, but I got like a pound.
Oh, okay.
You know,
alright.
and it basically just makes yellow titanium.
Oh.
But if I can mix titanium with something else to give the glaze some tooth, the thing with that is that it essentially turns into a crystal glaze if you put too much. Yeah, so I'm getting like
Oh, so when you say like tooth, it's like it gives it more of like a matte finish as opposed to a shiny finish.
more of a like a textured look, I guess.
Yes.
Like that, like your cup over there.
Oh yeah, like the weathered bronze green glaze that I use.
Yeah.
I love that
And so I put like
glaze so much.
3% titanium in it, and I'm like, there's some texture, there's some tooth right there. Not clear anymore after the 3%. But now I know, okay, I
Yeah.
like 2 or 3%.
Yeah.
It'll probably do this to even a high gloss glaze.
Right.
And that's my note right there. That's like, okay, that's experience enough for me to work on other glazes in this same manner. Just tools on the belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are my 2 main concentrations. And then when I can, with support with Abel, when I can, I should be able to go into the studio for the next shop update, which we have to start telling people our shop updates in the Mud Peddlers.
Oh my gosh.
We have to start saying it.
Well, it's terrible for me because I often... Well, okay, no. One of my big goals for this year was to get more consistent about shop updates, so I would know, like ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. Okay, you're right. When we have a planned shop update, yeah, we'll let people know.
Lindsay's shop update, like, oh, welcome to Mud Peddlers. By the way, the shop update for Lindsay is X. Shop update for Dante is Y.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just call it out because people often ask me my shop update dates more so than they do look for the like. You could just go to the website.
Yeah.
And see it with your eyes if it's updated or not. And like,
but I think people get used to like a particularly ceramic artist doing updates in small batches.
Yes.
I think people are just more used to that these days.
I also think people are more used to being notified when things happen versus like going out and seeing if things happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know for myself, like that's one of the benefits of like subscribing to newsletters or when like, you know, for the artists who are still on Etsy, you know, following their shop on Etsy because you'll get like email notifications. But again, if you have your newsletter, then you don't have to rely on Etsy or you don't have to rely on those other things.
Even
And
if you turn your notifications on, like, you know, it fixes a lot of issues.
Yeah. But I feel that, like, that thing of, like, I need to be notified of when things happen.
I need to be told, yeah.
Yeah, because unless I'm, like, really specific about, like, I have been looking for this artist's work for a while, and I'm going to buy it, and I've been waiting for a long time, and I, you know, but that, like, not everyone has that level of, like, I must acquire this cup.
The one thing I did decide the other day is that at 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to buy one of my patrons either a kiln or a wheel. Yeah.
Whoa.
That is one thing that I was like, that's fucking happening.
Dang.
That's happening. You know,
how are you going to choose? Is it going to be like a lottery? Also, I'm sorry, I must eat some cheese.
It's okay. Well, I decided it's going to be a patron because, like, they support me.
Well, yeah.
I was going to do, like, a worldwide thing, but then I was like, nah.
Oh my god, the shipping for that?
Yeah, the shipping for that would suck. So
yeah.
I was like, you gotta live in America or Canada, and then you also gotta, like, I'll buy you or, theoretically, what I could do is if you live in another part of the country and you have a shop next to you, I could call the shop, buy the wheel, you just pick it up. Or buy the thing, and you just go get it yourself.
Yeah. How are you going to choose what patron, though?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll do a Q&A, and then I'll make them their own private video. Granted, when I make private videos, because I have, like, 20 for patrons, only, like, 5 of them watch them. 8 maximum. You know? And so I put all this work into extra videos, and I feel like they don't really... don't care, but, like, some of them really want the extra content. But some of them are just like, I just want to support you. Whatever. Just leave me alone.
Yeah. I sometimes wonder if part of that, too, is that... like how easy it is to access that, because I remember when I think it was the podcast Lore, I may be misremembering, so I apologize to any Lore fans, or, you know, God bless, if Aaron Mankey was listening to this episode, I would die. Anyway, so I think what they first did is they only posted their extra episodes in the Patreon app itself. But I didn't really ever listen to them because I had to go to a separate thing to listen to the episodes. Whereas now they have their own feed where their regular episodes and their extra content episodes for patrons are all in one place. And I listen to every extra episode now, practically.
Yeah, by proxy, listening to the regulars.
Yeah, because it just goes through. So I wonder if, like, part of that...
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
I usually have up my own playlist, and then I give the link to the playlist once a month on Patreon. So, like, if you want all the extra vlogs and episodes, you just gotta wait for the link, and then considering you're paying attention to the posts.
Yeah.
Or you could just scroll down for a bit, like for 2 minutes, and then you're there.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's not too bad. It is extra hot in here all
It's super hot. It's definitely, like, increasing. I am sweating.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, okay, Lowkey.
Yeah.
This is definitely something I would not normally share on the regular podcast episode.
Please go ahead.
And this one's going to be public, so now y'all are going to know. Our regular listeners are going to know. Viewers and listeners. So it got so hot this last month that there were probably a couple of weeks where after I filmed all of my social media content that I needed to do for the day, I stripped down naked.
Naked?
Completely naked.
Naked bugs me. Naked doesn't bug me for you. Naked bugs me for everybody.
Yeah,
and it
because you yourself don't like being naked. You're
you're
like a never nude sim.
Yeah, I'll do it in the shower and then like.
Can't imagine what other time. I don't know.
You know, but like, it bugs me because it's like, oh, you don't have your armor on.
Oh, I didn't give a shit. I was like, I've never sweat so much in my life, and I'm just like, I'm tired of like, I get really claustrophobic.
Throw these oppressive clothes.
Truly. It's like, I can't, when I get that hot, I'm just like, I can't have anything on me. And like, even this like bra that I'm wearing right now is like, as the studio is starting to heat up, I'm like, it's too much.
That's insane to me. That's actually crazy to me.
Yeah, it's, and then what's nice is that at the end of the day, I just like take a sponge bath. I get like my big old thing of water.
A sponge bath?
Yeah, I just
Don't you need 2 people for a sponge bath?
No, you just like...
Or is it just a bath with a sponge?
No, I literally like, I get my bucket of water, I go outside my studio onto the pavement, I have my bucket of water, I have my sponge that I normally use for like wiping down surfaces and stuff, and
You're
I just
looking
like...
at me as you explain it like it's a normal thing.
It's a totally normal thing. No,
it's not.
You just like take some water, you like dunk it over your head, or you take the sponge and you just like squeegee it over your body, and it's nice, because... You know, it's like in the evening.
You're
because I'm about
cracked.
to, it's so nice.
You're...
I really enjoy being...
I just took a sponge bath. My name is Agnes.
Well, what can I say?
During the Depression, I didn't go hungry. I tell you what, your dad had plenty of protein in him.
Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah. As a person who enjoys being naked, there's something rather fantastic about taking a sponge bath
Like when
in
they
the
see
evening.
when they see a baby with no socks, they're like, "No socks!" They freak out if
You
there's
gotta
no
put the little
socks.
socks on the feet.
You're an old lady. I've
Oh my
decided right
God.
this instant. Any older person I've shown my child to, they're like, "Why do they have no socks?" And I'm like, "That does. What do you?"
No, I mean, I wouldn't be like, why? I wouldn't straight up ask you why.
They're accosted.
I mean, I feel like you either gotta say, why does your baby not have socks, or you gotta comment on how adorable their little feetsies are.
It's weird.
You gotta do one or the other.
Foot fetish ass.
Tiny, it's not a foot fetish. It's a tiny baby.
Maybe
They got tiny little feet.
I just realized you're old trapping me. We have cheese and crackers. We have tea.
Yes.
We're talking about sponge baths.
I'm actually a vampire. I'm actually 85 years old. Yes.
That's like a 5-year-old vampire. I wonder if vampires have that. You know, like oh, he's 1,000 years old and you're only 100. That's technically statutory. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like
Like you can't be together.
Yeah.
Or is
yeah,
their
I
age of
wonder.
consent like 100?
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
just call it.
That actually reminds me of a vampire book I read recently that was actually hella good. Don't laugh.
I'm not, but like I know
can
how you are, so like,
Yes,
is
no.
it that kind of book?
No, it's not actually. So the book is called Fledgling, and it's by Octavia Butler.
Okay, it's those 2 names sound real.
Okay. Octavia Butler is
Fletching?
No, Fledgling.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Fledgling, and Octavia Butler is a like world-renowned science fiction writer. And I've been trying to read more like more books, in particular like fiction written by Black authors, because I realized that like most of I love science fiction and fantasy, but I like have never read any pieces like by Black authors, and there's so much good shit out there.
Yeah.
So I started following
3 Musketeers at most.
Oh God, what?
3 Musketeers?
That's written by a Black person?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
This is the problem.
That's cool.
It's not really a problem, but like I mean, it is a problem.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I feel like I want to fact check that.
You should.
Okay.
I want you to see this man's face.
Okay. All right. Oh, Alexander Dumas?
I'm like 95% sure that he is a person of color, and I'm also pretty sure it was written when slavery was still a thing.
Okay, so
That man's black as fuck.
Okay. So people are asking, was Dumas half black? It says he was from the Saint Dominique, now Haiti and Dominican Republic, and had a black enslaved mother and white nobleman father.
Oh, he was like me.
Yeah.
He has white skin, but
that's at least that's what I'm seeing on.
Oh, look, he's white skin and an afro.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's half black.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes
There's a
into
lot
that.
to unpack there.
Yeah.
That I'm not-
That's good.
In the
Yeah.
same way, Logic and Halsey are black, I guess, and me, I guess, yeah.
So Fledgling is really, really good.
Yes.
And they actually sort of have that whole thing about like age and like how vampires consider themselves age, and anyway, it's an interesting book. I would recommend it. It's a really unique take on like how vampires work.
Yeah, if you, like, I find that whenever I read a book, the rare time, because it's difficult for me to read, in the rare times that I read a book, if it's by an author that is not part of, like, middle-class white America, I enjoy it a bit more because it has way more detail outside of the character perspective. Like, the character themselves will often notice things that that are usually a danger to them rather than just their experience. So like when I effing read Harry Potter, you know, that's a bad example, but when I read Harry Potter, it's just like Harry, and he's special, and he's the chosen one, and he's the only one, and everything he does is great, and he gets out of everything, and he has this weird aura about him that everybody likes him, and he happens to be the most powerful wizard. Whenever I read any other book by a person of color, I'm like, that shit doesn't happen. It happens a lot more like this person realized this, and this is gonna happen because of it, and this is the way they work in that scenario.
Yeah.
And this is their support system and their best friend who does this, and they're like peanut butter fuck jelly, and they're, you know, like there's this type of there's no like god complex to it most of the time. But all the popular books and all the popular characters that I've read, at least from like, I'll say very standard authors, or at least historically standard authors, have always been like, there's one person and they're the chosen one. And they save the day and everyone depends on them and they're God. And from birth they've been great. And all the other books are very like, no, they became what they are. And here's how they become. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty big generalization,
but
I also get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like there's like, it sounds like I don't know, like it sounds like you're more interested in books that have a more like that have characters that have a more experience, like relatable to what your experiences are.
No, I agree. Yeah, and I think a lot of the popular books in our society that are generally by a standard author would be like Superman, you know what I mean? Like Superman just like showed up and he had powers.
Yeah, it's like cool.
And he was raised on a farmhouse and they owned the house and it was great and he had farm and food all the time. And,
oh my god.
And then like I'm more of a Batman guy, you know, where like he was rich but like he saw his parents die in front of him and he got thrown. Like he's been through some. He's rich and that's it.
Yeah.
Which is still a pretty good head in life.
He's rich and traumatized.
Yeah, he's rich and massively traumatized.
Yeah.
And he didn't break under pressure. He's the shittiest diamond.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed. Oh wait, I'll wait till you sit down.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We do hope you enjoyed this first episode. Unfortunately, it's a little shorter because I do have to go.
Yeah.
But
well, you're being a good caretaker to Abel, so.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into a rhythm where like once a month we'll do like one of these and just shoot the shit.
Yeah. Let us know if you enjoy this kind of content because frankly, like. I would love, like, again, if I had infinite time in the world, I would absolutely love to be, like, doing this. But it's also kind of like every extra thing that I do, even for patrons, like, it takes time and it takes effort. And it's like, I want to make sure that if this is something that I'm considering, you know, doing with you for the patrons, I want to know that, like, y'all like it and that you're interested in it because otherwise I'm kind of like, there's so many other things that I could do.
You're going to get that, though.
Yeah, I hope so. So please, if you like this, let me know, you know, let Dante know, because he's obviously, you know, I mean, even though it's on, like, through my Patreon, like, you know, I wouldn't just be here talking to myself.
Hit me on Twitter. I'm ignoring the gram for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you're wondering why you
Gram's too powerful.
Announcing your shop updates. You gotta use the gram.
That's true. I do gotta use Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just Facebook without updates. It's just pictures instead.
Yeah, and videos.
Yeah. It's sad.
All right, well, we'll see you guys later.
See you later. Put your pants back on.
It's been a pleasure. Okay.